Mi recherò a Sarajevo, capitale della Bosnia ed Herzegovina.
One commentator says that Pope Francis will be walking a fine line during his June trip to Sarajevo. The nearby town of Medjugorje is the center of a controversy dating back more than 3 decades. Father James Martin of America Magazine expects Pope Francis to talk about Medjugorje while he is in the country, but says the pontiff will have to choose his words wisely.
The last thing the Pope wants to do is to, make people less devout. By the same token, he also doesn't want to encourage people to go somewhere that hasn't been kind of vetted, while it's being vetted right now.
The Vatican just completed an investigation about Medjugorje, examining claims that the Virgin Mary is appearing to several visionaries in the town. Starting in 1981, 6 children began to experience phenomena which they alleged to be apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Now adults, they claim that the visits from Mary continue.
The Church is very concerned, rightfully, that people are not being misled. And so that's like the process for canonization. We want to make sure that these things are worthy of public veneration.
There is no indication when, if ever, the Vatican will make a public statement about the allegations. Despite the dispute, millions of pilgrims have traveled to Medjugorje. Queens native Monsignor Thomas Michalski was the spiritual director of a pilgrimage to the site several years ago and is still in awe of the devotion that he witnessed.
Their sense of faith, their devotion to Our Lady, the lines of people waiting to go to confession. There is something holy taking place there, that so many people are moved to great devout hours in prayer, to celebrating the sacraments. This devotion and holiness is certainly a great blessing and a great grace for all the Church.
The Vatican spokesman insists that the Pope's trip has no connection to the investigation of Medjugorje. He says the reason for the trip is to encourage fraternity and peace in the country after a bloody civil war that ended only 20 years ago. Father Martin is quick to point out that Catholics are not required to believe private revelations, such as what is alleged at Medjugorje. Even when the Vatican approves an apparition, like Lourdes and Fatima, it is not a part of Church doctrine.
Catholics do not have to believe in private revelation because, in a sense, there's no way for the Church to verify it. Because really, what they are is private. I mean, it's to a particular person or individual. So the Church is very reluctant to say, go here, don't go there. They can approve them as places of devotion, but the Church is not going to say this is part of the deposit of faith. This is as important as believing in Jesus' miracles, for example, because, once again, it's happening to an individual or individuals.
To date, the Pope has never made any public statements on Medjugorje. He will be in Sarajevo June 6th. For Currents, I'm Katie Breidenbach.